would you say a religious life is to lead a good life? Not the good life of the advertiser.
Recognized morality.
Morality.
Because that changes from culture to culture, from time to time.
That can be brushed aside too.
Mm-hmm. Not the good which has an opposite, as you said the other day.
Oh no, good life. Not a comfortable life.
Mm-hmm.
Not
the life which has concern, which has affection, which has love.
Love, that's it.
Which is not acting for itself and from itself.
Therefore, a religious life is a life in which the self is not.
Yes, sir. However, we do find this in every one of the great religions. To that extent, I would say they are not muck, because they say absolutely this.
Go slow, sir. It's very difficult. This is a very difficult point, because to lead a religious life means a life without the self.
Yes, sir.
Now, what happens? Most of the religions recognize this.
They state it. Yes,
Therefore, what do?
What they do afterwards, we see clearly, sir, is
no, they replace the self by an idea.
Yes, of selflessness.
Of selflessness.
With all the trappings attached to it.
By a savior, by a master, and so on.
Yes, which is understood. Sir.
No, which is the transformation of the self
into something which is the same.
The same.
The self catches onto its own. It establishes its own security in
its own
way.
image.
Yes.
In a different form.
Yes.
So
that's brushed aside.
No, that must be brushed aside.
We have, sir. Yes.
So what is a religious life? We say a religious life is one in which the self is absent.
Yes.
And that's one of the most difficult things. Now, that seems rather empty. Wait, that seems rather empty.
Many people would say, I don't find this too attractive.
That's it. Attractive, not enough excitement, not enough glamour, or all the rest of it. Therefore, they recognize a religious life is without the self, but they want to express that feeling in siddhis, in powers, in various forms of mysterious.
In other words, although pretending to get rid of the self, what they really want is the excitement and pleasure of the unknown and the powerful.
That's right, sir. So
they're even more greedy than the businessman.
In a different way.
Because the businessman can't do magic tricks.
So we are saying a life without the self is really the most arduous, the most extraordinary, demanding life.
And that is the religious life.
That's the religious life.
And there's nothing else which is religion.
Nothing.